Hey adventurers, welcome back. Remember this little device, the Carpuride W702? I've been running this for 6 months now on the motorbike. It's my daily driver. I use it. It really hasn't faltered me. It has been great. However, there's an updated one come out that has added a few features which really piqued my interest. And so I spoke to Carpuride and said, well, can I have one of those as well? I would love to test one of those. And they graciously said yes. So today I am going to talk about not only how this has performed, but also this one, the Carpuride 712D. Now this one, let's have a look at it. When you first look at this box, you'd say, well, what's the difference? Still a 7-inch screen and, you know, the usual things. It doesn't have much. Interesting. I don't know if this is the final production box or not, because when you look at the manual, it's got all the other functions. In fact, it doesn't even have all of the functions. So this one has 1080p cameras front and rear of the bike, which you can display on the screen and review your footage and save footage. We're going to play with that, see how much fun that is. But it also, the screen can be rotated portrait or landscape, whichever you prefer. So we'll have a play with that. And also a wired controller. So let's have a look. So the device, hey, the big red pig. The device doesn't have this little shroud, which I did quite like on the previous version. And obviously that's because you can rotate it in either direction. So that's not going to, unless you could, they had two little shrouds for it. But anyway, this one doesn't have a shroud, but it does have this little remote that's wired, so handlebar mount. I think in my first review, I did talk about, you have to lift, it's all touchscreen, but now maybe you can do a few features with this. So we'll test that out. It comes with all the usual mounting brackets, USB power supply, more mounting brackets. And here we have a camera for the front of the bike and a camera for the rear of the bike. So I'm going to mount all this up and we're going to start having a play. Okay, it's a couple of hours later, but I've mounted it. I have one camera right here and another camera right here. So we'll see how that goes. I thought, well, I better stick a memory card in it. And I open up the side, which has got a little rubber grommet over the top of the lid. And there's already a memory card given to you. 64 gig. Moment of truth. Okay, I've got power. That's a start. And I have a display. And I have a camera. Holy. There you go. That's awesome. We'll see how it goes. Oh, also, I've just put the button on here. So it's just on my grip because there's not much real estate on the T7, but I will work out somewhere to put this. Yeah. Well, hello adventurers, road bike users, maybe even dirt bike users. Today I'm going to tell you about this Carpuride 712D. What is it? It's an Android Auto or Apple CarPlay device. It has been developed for motorcycles, but you don't have to use it on a motorcycle. You could use it on anything, probably. Car, boat. So being an Android Auto device, it's using my phone to run all of the apps that I would usually use on my phone. But it displays it on this big, bright 7-inch screen. And yeah, it is bright. It's auto dimming, and I think it's great. I can see it very easily, day or night. I'm wearing a tinted visor, and I can see it comfortably. So the 712D comes with a couple of additional features over previous versions. I have been running the W702 for about 6 months, and I've really, I love it. I use it all the time, and it's never let me down. It's just been reliable. It's just worked. Ooh, Aston Martin. Yes, I've been using it for, like Google Maps or Waze, just navigation apps. I've also been using it for adventure riding, for plotting my blue line or whatever coloured line you've set up to navigate in the outback. I've run OSM maps, Gaia, a few of these apps, and it also does everything else that your phone does. It plays music to me, and I can answer my phone calls through it, and all the usual things that you do with your phone. Yeah, and it's been working a treat. And now with this 712D, this has a couple of additional features. It has a dash cam, so as you can see, it's recording front and rear cameras, which is pretty cool. And I'm thinking, because I do YouTube, I might be able to use some of that footage. Yet to be tested how it is off-road, but well, you'll probably see it in this video, but I don't yet know how that performs off-road. Now, whether it's just too shaky and the frame rate can't keep up, or if it works well. And the other feature is something people had asked about the W702. They would say, oh, well, I want to run it in portrait mode, not in landscape. And it's like, well, bad luck, it doesn't do portrait. But this one does do portrait. I think it's something about Carpuride. They listen to people's complaints, and then they just do updates. Or they they make a new model if they need to. So yeah, I'll turn this back to portrait mode, so we can just exit right out of Android Auto, go back to here. You can see the dash cam is running there. Settings. Ooh, I was gonna go into the right lane there. Maybe watch these bastards changing lanes like that. So screen rotation. So we just press this button here. Yes, I will. And what it does, it reboots. And there you go. It's rebooted in portrait mode. And there it is, back to the home screen. It should flick automatically back into Android Auto as soon as my phone hooks up to it, which takes maybe 20 or 30 seconds. There it goes. And there you go. There's your Android Auto in portrait mode, which is obviously no good to me on this setup, but for those people wanting maybe to run it next to your dashboard or just on a handlebar mount or anything like that, you can run it in portrait mode. Actually, I think I like portrait mode better. It's got all the 4 buttons down the... Gee, maybe I'll consider that. So one thing different about this model than the W702 is the W702 had a little peak over the top, but obviously this one doesn't, because it can be run in portrait mode. Or they could have a clip-on peak that go, a wide one and a short one, but they don't. So I was worried about, does that make the reflections worse? But it's actually hasn't really worried me so far. So yeah, no peak. The peak definitely protected the screen from rain. However, okay, well, now it's started raining, making everything just a little bit more slippery. Woo-hoo-hoo! It's heavy. Okay, so I guess this is another test for the screen. It hasn't got that little shield over the top. It is has multiple touch settings, which I'll show you, but there is raindrops hitting it, and it has it's not moved yet. Ooh, windy. Okay, so I can move around all right. Zoom in, zoom out, center. It's all still good on a wet screen. So I guess those settings they work. Holy those drops are heavy, they're hurting my lip. Is that hail? This is crazy! Holy crap! Oh. Holy this, ow! Ow! That hurts! Oh my, I got a black lip. Oh, oh, they're huge. Holy that hurt. Oh, just open the gate. Just open the gate, we'll go in that shed.
Look what we're getting.
I know. I reckon I got a black lip.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I tried to take a photo with my phone before and it's totally useless. I can't get out of one of the apps I'm in because I can't swipe up. So I can't swipe. I could touch, but I couldn't swipe. However, after I get around this corner, if I wanted to back up some of those files here, oh, I can press the button to go back to the main menu, Playback. Videos, lock, just going to lock a couple so that they can never be overwritten. Scroll down the list, no problem. This is actually, oh, that's playing it, home. This is actually impressive. I can do everything. Whatever sort of algorithm they've got on the old touchscreen there works a charm. Hey adventurers, so after 2 weeks of use with this Carpuride 712D, it has been through rain, hail, shine, mud, everything. And my final thoughts. So the front and rear camera wires, they're labeled when you set this up, and they were wrong. The front and rear cameras were labeled incorrectly. There's a camera mode in the options there that does not seem to work, but everything else is absolutely perfect. I really like this device. I'm going to use it all the time. The camera quality, I guess I should say, it's not amazing. It's dash cam quality. Certainly not vlogger quality. You're not going to be using it to edit some sort of epic film or anything, but it's decent, as you can see. So let's just go through some of these menu options, because I think they'll give you a good idea of what it's capable of. Yeah, so here we have the main menu. We can cycle in and out of the rear facing camera, which is what it's supposed to do when you click this button. It's meant to go to the rear camera instead of the front camera, but now that I've got the wires plugged the other way, it works properly. And if I hold down this button, it will actually just turn the device off, and then I can hold it down and it will restart it. So you can just turn the whole thing off at any time with the press of a button. The middle button, a single press will take a photo like it just said there, and if you hold it down, it will dunk locked video. So that video now transfers into the folder called SOS, and it will never be deleted. So as it stands, the device will loop record videos, and it will save a few hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours worth of footage, and then it starts overriding the old clips. So every time you see something that you want to keep, you need to lock that video, which you can do with a press of the button, a long press of the button. Yeah, so the home button, I can flick in and out of whichever app I am using, and a long press does what? I cannot remember. Touch function. So it turns off the touch function. So now I can't do anything on the screen. Now, I'm guessing that this is, actually in the manual, it talks about if you've got a lot of water on the screen or it's raining, you can lock the touch function so that the water drops won't move the screen. However, in my, so I've got to hold down the button again. Oh, 5 seconds. It's quite a long press. So let me talk about this touch function. In the settings we'll go to general. There is the brightness, which is currently on auto. So you can go in and adjust it, just leave it on auto. The device is actually really good at sensing light and picking a good brightness. Bright is super bright, dark is pretty dark. It's good. Assistive touch, so somewhere between assistive touch and touch mode. Assistive touch has just an on and an off function, and touch mode has rainwater mode and normal mode. Now, I've just been leaving it on rainwater mode and assistive touch on, and in the worst possible conditions, this has been absolutely amazing. I'm really impressed. I could not use my phone with my wet fingers and gloves, and with just dampness everywhere, but I could still use this screen. So we'll just quickly go through the other menus. There's the screen rotation. So I think I've got footage of that. So yeah, it reboots the device and runs it in portrait mode. And then in the camera, we've got camera format. Now, at the moment, it's recording this format 1080N. This is not like the quality. This is some, I don't know, some weird format. But if I go to 1080p, then when I go to the camera, as you can see, it is whacked. It doesn't work. So, go back to the menu, back to camera format, 1080N. I should say, so 1080p and 720p are the same. 720N, 1080N, they both work. And then there's the record resolution, which is 1080p or 720p. So obviously I just leave it in 1080p. Then we've got the split time. By default, this is the loop recording is in 1 minute intervals, but I've put it to 5 minute intervals, and it's much better for me wanting to grab some clips. I get a longer length of time. The 64 gig card in there holds heaps. The video quality, the bitrate is quite low. It's only 13,000, so you can fit heaps on the card, but the quality is not that good. Then we have a microphone, so on or off. So I just leave it on. So this actually does just record audio onto those clips. Now, obviously, when you're moving, it's just wind noise. But when you're standing around, you can hear conversations. You can hear me talking to my camera on the bike. It works.
Where's the front camera? Oh, there it is.
Rear mirror image. I'm not sure why you would need that. I guess, if you stressing out that that mirror, that image on the back is flipped horizontally. Then we've got system, obviously language, set the date and time, which I've never done. I should do that. Storage info will just tell us how much of the memory card we've used. You can format the card, factory reset the whole device, and a firmware version. So obviously this is upgradable. Yeah, and if you're wondering what these little buttons at the top are, they're basically shortcuts. So, that one just goes to the camera, and then this one is the brightness, which is on auto. This one's pairing your device. Yeah, so you use your Bluetooth headset, just connects to your phone as per normal, and your phone just connects to this. So your phone is connected to both, and your audio is always clear. It's it works perfectly, and it's much easier to set up. I think it's easier to set up than the old W702. And then just back to home. And then CarPlay or Android Auto. You can just go back into there, and it is a treat. Now, some people do ask, which apps turn up? Well, that depends on what your phone is capable of. And not all developers make their apps Android Auto or Apple CarPlay friendly. So it depends what the app developers have done, what your phone's able to do. So I've got Gaia, Waze, Maps, OSM. I mean, Discord's on there, Spotify, the radio station, WhatsApp, my hot water service for some reason is able to connect to this. As I say, that depends on what your phone is able to do. So then the other big question that we get is about battery life. And I guess it's going to vary between what phone you've got. But this is using wireless Android Auto. My phone's always plugged in. However, I have tested it without the phone plugged into power. Just let it drain. And it will drain. My phone it's a Pixel 8a. And it will drain about 12% of the battery per hour, 12 to 15% per hour. It was 12% for the first hour, but then it jumped up a little bit. And I think it depends how much you're doing, how many apps you're running at the time. So if you say it's 15% an hour, then what's that? 6 hours, and you're getting a pretty low battery. So, but that's most of a day. So whether you think that that's acceptable or not, that's totally up to you. And one other common question I do get is, do I prefer this over a dedicated GPS device? And my answer is yes, because as you would know if you watch my videos, I've always run a phone on the dashboard instead of a dedicated GPS. I just ran the phone on the dashboard because a phone's capable of lots of different apps, and instead of just being stuck with HEMA or with whichever particular TomTom's maps, I can flick between maps. I can choose different maps. If I have an issue with one, I've got options. Obviously the risk was that I had my phone up on the dashboard. But now I can have my phone tucked away safely in my bag, charging all the time, and then this device just does the hard work, I guess. It takes the beating, and its screen seems to be way better in the wet or the rain. My phone has before overheated when it's sitting there in the sun. This never overheated. I don't know if it's just because it's bigger and it's able to heat sink more heat out the back. Never had an issue with it overheating. And I say in this one I've been running for 2 weeks, but my other one I've been running, the W702, I've been running for 6 months, never had a problem. So the only downsides I guess are that some apps won't run with Android Auto. DMD2, I wish the developers would make it work with Android Auto, but they don't. So, if you're a big DMD2 fan, I guess you're stuck using your phone or buying their device. They have a dedicated device. But like I say, then you're trapped in that one device. You don't have any other options. It might do everything that you need. However, I like to adventure ride. I like to commute. I like to look up the weather. There's just I like to listen to music. Does your GPS device, you can't really just scroll through tracks, pick a new playlist on those. So I just find the phone much more useful for me. But I'm definitely not saying that suits everyone, because everyone's different, and there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just explaining how I feel about it all, and yeah, you can take it or leave it. So yeah, anyway, then I just see if I can make a few dollars, I guess, by saying if you are interested in this device, use my link below, and the link works. The link and the discount code work with not just this device, any device from Carpuride. They have a whole range of devices for cars and bikes and all sorts of things. They've got a pretty good list. And to be honest, I'm working with Carpuride to come up with a new device too. So I'm hoping that will, I don't know, not take too many years to get developed. So let's keep that a secret. But hopefully you enjoyed this informative session. The clips that you saw with the rainstorm and that's it. That'll be coming up in my a future video. So stick around. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.